Well, good morning to those who just joined us. I saw a few more just log in. Today, we're going to be talking about a few important things from social strategies, some database strategies, but more importantly, is our referral business, which anytime I ask any real estate agent, they would love more business by referral. Like, who wouldn't? But we have to go down a path and realize that there's probably a lot of things we're doing that may be costing us referrals too. So, I want to kind of share ideas of how to not lose referrals. And I think sometimes we expect automations to just replace being human, and we expect the CRM to do the work for us. And the goal is to get two or three at least ideas that probably, whether you're in the real estate or even in the title space right now, that probably will be helpful in a lot of different ways here too. And by all means, we all make mistakes, but I'm going to start with this quote. I'm going to probably end with this quote. But probably the most valuable asset we have as a real estate professional is not only just the relationships that we have and the amount of relationships we have, it's the data that goes with it. Knowing the people that we know in the relationship's critical. However, their information, their data, their emails, their phone numbers, the only way to market to them and nurture them beyond the relationship. And I find that a lot of people just don't have it together. They don't have either CRMs together, they don't have things that are mobile, and they don't have anything that's going outbound in a consistent way. So we're going to cover some of those today. And I think I have to load up a little bit with some heat by saying, we want more referrals, but how much time do we spend, like meaningful time, nurturing and trying to create the referral business? See, fortunately and unfortunately, when I spent many years in the field selling real estate and I've sold somebody a home and I'm driving by that area 2 years later, 3 years later, 5 years later, and I see the sign go back in the ground, home I sold 5 years ago, and the sign in the ground is not mine. They listed with somebody else. I used to get really pissed. Like I used to lose my mind. How did that happen? But it was my fault, truthfully, was because I didn't spend time continuing that relationship. I expected the referral because we had a good experience once and just figured they'd come back and do it again. In this connected world, what we don't realize is 6, 8, 10 months, a year later, after we've done business with somebody, not that they forgot about us or we're sending them emails in marketing, but they're meeting new people. They're at school on the PTA meeting somebody. They happen to be a real estate agent, and they're now nurturing that relationship when we kind of think email marketing is going to do it for us. So we have to realize that the relationship goes way beyond just expecting it to happen or just digital marketing. So I use the word meaningful, and I use the word the business of people, because real estate agents think they got into real estate because they loved houses and they loved the business of. It's not our business. Like, we're not in the business of real estate. We're actually in the business of people. The more you know, the more that like and trust you will allow you to then sell their home, which is the product, right? We sell trust. We sell that kind of idea concept. And I think from a referral standpoint, we lose trust after we lose contact with people. And there's probably story after story I can tell you of people that if we didn't do our jobs 3 and 5 and 6 years later, it's not so much that their home they didn't give back to you or refer to you. It's the 300 other people they know that might be moving, selling, buying, that they didn't refer to you. So we look at it as, well, I lost that one listing. They listed their else. It's not just that one. It's how many people did they refer to somebody else that wasn't you? That's how the domino effect of real estate grows, is when you have one happy client. Yeah, they may not be selling for another 5 to 7 years, maybe. But who are they going to send you in between those 5 to 7 years? That's where the money is. And that's why you've got to continue at a deeper level to continue to connect with people. So we're going to go over some of those ideas for sure. And we're going to give you some ideas on marketing campaigns and things that matter versus maybe sending something that might be what I'll call digital junk mail. We send sometimes automations that are campaigns that are done for us that may not be meaningful to anybody, right? I like to also, like a lot of times when I have a large audience, I'll say to people, how many of you, if you were your own client, you're your own real estate client, and you were receiving the emails your campaign is sending out to them, would you even open them? Would you find them valuable? Would you say, wow, this is awesome content? Or would you see it as digital junk mail? And then when I ask real estate agents that at large, most of them say they wouldn't even open their own emails because it's not relevant. And then I have to ask the question, then why would you send it? If you wouldn't even see value in it yourself, why would you send it? And it's because it was done for me, or this is what I was told to do, and this is a campaign. It's not right. It makes no sense. So we'll go down the path of the numbers that make the most sense, and yet we still really have a hard time adapting to it. We know that when we get done with the transaction, most home buyers will tell you they would use their real estate or recommend their real estate agent to others. When you look at the real return 5 to 7 years later, 13% of the business, 13% of business will clients and only 17 from past. Why? It's because of the disconnected referral business. So that's where our biggest challenge is, and that's where our systems lack. So let's start with some problems. First problem is this. Now, this was a post on Facebook from a person who just purchased a home 6 months after they made this post. They bought a home. 6 months later, they're in Facebook making a simple post like this. I'm looking for a plumber to possibly come out today and tomorrow to unfreeze my kitchen sink or sink pipes. Great. So here's a homeowner that went to strangers on Facebook and looking to vet a plumber. My question is why didn't he or she call their realtor? Why didn't they call? It's because they don't see that real estate agent as having any more intrinsic value than buying, selling, or renting a home. And that's a problem. Like I want my clients, I mean, sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for, but I want my clients calling me for everything related to real estate. Like if you need a landscaper, I know 3 of them I could recommend to you. If you need, but here's the problem is they don't see any more value in us because they think we're kind of done and they move on and they'd rather go ask strangers, which makes me nuts. So when you look outside, see where the problem is, I can find the problem. The problem is I go look outside the business and I'll find a company like, let's just say Apple. Right? I'm an Apple fanboy, I'll admit it. But even if you're not an Apple fanboy or girl, here's what they did really well. If you asked, the universe, what does Apple actually sell? Well, people might say, well, they sell like an experience. They sell, great computers. They sell service. They sell, connectivity. It's not because they make the best Apple watches, computers, iTunes, watches, iPads. The reason it's all successful is because what they built was an ecosystem, a complete ecosystem that everything that has to do with life and business is connected together. And that's the biggest fault I find in real estate. We don't have a complete ecosystem around real estate and the home. We get into the buy, sell, and rent. And then when it's done, it's an automation and there's no more rounded connectivity to do with the home. Meaning, I need a pest control. I need help with this. Think about putting a pool in. The ecosystem where Apple has it is they have something that ties everything together. In real estate, as an agent, I would want to make sure my clients knew specifically that anything to do with real estate or the home they bought from me, I should be their first phone call to a lot of things. And if I don't have the answer, I will find it for you. Versus strangers on Facebook. So if we could solve that problem of creating our own ecosystem, this will be the referral genius, because when we have more intrinsic value to them after the transaction, we'll get way more referrals from them and be more way top of mind, right? So here's one of the first ways to start listening to people, right? Because you have to listen. If you want to be part of their world and you want to listen to what they're talking about and listen to their real estate stuff, you have to pay attention. And in today's world, the social media feeds that you get fed may not feed you those clients. You may have 50 clients in your Facebook personal page, but the news feed or the algorithm only sends you you only see 3 of them. But what are you going to do, or what happens when one of your clients from 2 years ago says, we had a flood in our basement, we could really use some help, and blah, 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 or whatever they're looking for from the community, and you didn't see it because it was on Facebook, but it didn't serve it to you, and you weren't there to help them or give them advice or pick up the phone. It's like you didn't exist. So how do you pay attention to those people? And the simplest, most effective strategy is at this point, having a Facebook list. And you can go create a Facebook list and put those clients specifically in a list that you could pay attention to, like your marketing. And you could literally go and create that list and call it, I hate to use the word past clients because there's no such thing as past clients. They're still clients, but call it your client list. And when you have your client list and you name it client list, once a week, you should be going through that list of people you put there, clicking through and looking at what they're doing, what they're saying. Are they on vacation? Are they talking about real estate? Are they talking about their kid graduating? Are they talking about a life event? Because guess what? Life events is also what creates transactions too. And they're telling you on a public facing page with you, but if you don't see it, it doesn't exist. So simply Facebook lists are one of the easiest ways to connect, cost you nothing. And the other really cool thing, and I probably need a slide for it, is if I was going to send out, let's say, a market report about, let's say, the market community or things that are happening in the market, when I make a post on my page, it's going to let the algorithm do its thing and share it with whomever. What I can do is when I go to Facebook and make that post, besides sending it to the public, I can also hit the drop down menu next to Facebook and send it to my list to make sure the people on my list, not they're going to be guaranteed to see it, but at least put it in their newsfeed. That stays more top of mind awareness for referral business. And paying attention to them proactively will get you more referral business. Now, if you're a fan of Instagram, of course, not exactly the same, but we kind of always find a workaround or a hack to do it. You can kind of do the same thing on Instagram by making those people, especially if they're big Instagrammers, making them favorites. You could take your clients and make them a favorite. We created some screenshots. And by the way, Emily and Alyssa are going to have access to this slide deck at the end of our session today. Besides the recording, which you'll have, if you want access to the slide deck itself, we'll send it as a PDF to Emily and the team, so you make sure you have it, right, for your clients to see. So the reason we screenshot these things is so you could see tomorrow when you're looking at it again or whenever how to do it, right? But the whole purpose of this is listening with intent and paying attention. If you took social media away, and this is a simple perspective, if you took these tools away and there's nothing online other than just websites, how on earth would you ever have known? And this is going back to my 30-some years of selling real estate. How would you ever know someone was being an empty nester in their kid's last day going out to college, or someone graduating, or they're retiring and going to move to the Carolinas, or anything that's going on in their life? How would you ever know? The answer is you wouldn't. And yet we have a tool now that we kind of consider just like a day in, day out thing, but it's telling you the most critical things in real estate, which is all the things they're doing, not only in real estate, but their life events. And all you have to do is pay attention, right? That goes for work, that goes for corporate, that goes for anything or anybody you want to pay attention to, right? So now I'm going to go a little deeper into a strategy that I'll share from a community-based thing. And I'm going to tie in both how do we build referrals, also how do we build some business wrapped around this. And this might be one of my favorite marketing strategies. And I'll probably share it several times a year with people. And I'm going to still say very few will execute it. And I don't know why. This would be like the number one thing. If you dropped me in your town, wherever that is, not that I'm going to go crushing it because I've been selling real estate for 36 years. Doesn't matter. I still know nobody. I have zero contacts. So I have to start over too. So the one thing I would start to do first is take a look at, okay, where am I going to look at from a farm area standpoint? I've got to find the place or the core of where I want to start marketing myself, right? I got to find those 600, 800 homes, someplace where there's a lot of activity that I could start to market myself there so people get to know me. Once I do that and I've identified it, I have to figure out, besides me going directly into their homes with marketing and postcards or mailers, where do those people go when they leave the house? How do I meet them? Remember, it's a people business. So I'm not talking about like some crazy stalking. I'm just talking about like, where do they shop? Where are they getting their coffee? Like, who knows them? What schools are they going to? Because I could also target the people that know them around their community too. So here's my best of strategy. What I would do is, and and actually this might, if somebody's in the chat, this might help a little bit. If somebody can be in the chat while I'm kind of explaining this, give me a town or area that you serve that has a decent amount of, like, stores and shops, or some downtown area, whatever it might be, that's so sizable. It could be a county. Okay, I got Princeton here, awesome area, love Princeton. I got Westfield, fantastic. Westfield's kicking. That's some prime time right there. I have a friend in Westfield that bought the two neighbors' houses around him to knock them down so he just have a bigger yard. At, like, I don't know, $1.5 million just to knock them down. So, like, okay, so we got Princeton, we got Westfield. Let's use those. I would create a best of Princeton page, Facebook business page now, the public one. Why the public one? Because you have a business page right now that, if I was betting, first of all, it doesn't get a lot of traction of engagement. It's not built for that. It is built to run ads. It's built to be a public page, and it's built for theoretically business, but there's very little engagement. So I'm not saying get rid of that page. What I'm going to say is keep that page and keep it active. And here's why. If someone Googles you to try and vet you to check out, are you real and are you doing business, your Facebook business page will be one of the pages that will come up on Google. So you need to be sure that that page is relevant. It looks good. Even if they find it, it's going to be your reputation basically online. I'm talking about a second page that's called, I would call it, you don't have to call it, but I would call it the best of Princeton, or the best of Princeton area. And here's why. I would prospect the local businesses around my farm area or that market area, because here's what I learned early in my career. Those local business owners not only probably know the people that live in those homes I want to market to, but they know hundreds, if not thousands, of others that could be a good referral source for me. So here's what my script would be. And I would use it probably very similar, because remember, if I offer someone a ridiculous value with no ask, I'm not asking them for anything. My very first script was with a small pizzeria right outside my farm area. I knew they were probably delivering in there on a daily basis, but I knew this guy and this wife, husband and wife team, knew everybody. So I walked in, I was like, hey, I'm Jeff Lobb. I think I was probably with Remax at the time. I'm with Remax. And we just created a Facebook business page called The Best of Princeton. And we're highlighting some of the best businesses in the Princeton area so that we can share all the best businesses with our real estate clients. I'd love to promote you on our page. I'd love to do a little video shoot with you, some photos. Are you down for doing some, PR and some press and some fun stuff where I could share it on my page? Would you be okay with that? Now, if you think about that kind of value proposition, now remember, I guess, so we live in Jersey, so there's a little bit of wall that goes up first. And the actual real response to that initially was, well, that sounds good, but how much? What's it cost? I'm like, no. And I didn't have a script for this, but this is what I came up with, is no, we don't charge for this. Little selfish plug, we sell a lot of real estate in the area. And we just got a lot of real estate clients that are always looking for new places to go. And I think you do an awesome job. So we created this cool page. It's the best of Princeton. You're one of the best. I want to put you on it. I didn't ask him, you got to put my business cards on your counter, or you got to put me on your cork board. I didn't ask for anything. But here's what I'm getting in today's day and age. That's prospecting. That's building a relationship with a person that could refer me a lot of people. It's also giving me social media content, because I need social content. It's giving me also community content. So I'm getting a lot more things in today's day and age out of that same prospecting idea that could get me referral business, along with good social and community content, with very, very little rejection, other than if you caught them at a busy time and it's like, prime time lunch or something. Now, it doesn't have to be just food industry. I want you to start thinking about the ecosystem. Who else is in the ecosystem that you should be connecting with that knows homeowners that could potentially refer you business? And it's really easy. Just about anyone in the trades. Now, you might know some people in the trades, but are you helping them and giving them value for you to be the first choice for them to say, hey, before you sell the house, you got to talk to my guy, Jeff? Because that's what used to happen. The landscapers I'd spend time with, I'd bring branded hats to. I'd make sure I promoted them to my clients. So if they need a landscaper, it was in my outbound newsletter marketing. It was outbound on my pages. They would purposefully listen for those referrals for me because they almost felt obligated to pay back, which was awesome. So many times I'll never forget the listings I would get that I would have never have known referred to me. Landscaper doing a spring cleanup in New Jersey. Widowed woman comes out, says, hey, I'm thinking we're going to be selling the house soon. I want you to spend more. I'm going to spend a little more money on mulching and flowers and everything else. So a normal landscaper would have just said, hey, that's awesome. We'll do it. He says, that's awesome. We'll do it. Did you happen to hire a real estate agent yet? She's like, no, we're going to do that after we get everything prettied up. He says, let me get you a card. You have to talk to my guy, Jeff. He's one of the best. I got the interview. I got the listing. Like, I would have never known about these things. So if you want to build real referral business, you got to go bring value to the people that are going to give it to you. And this is helping you create that ecosystem now at the same time. All right, shifting gears. I know we're going to cover a lot in a short period of time. The other thing that we find challenges with from a value standpoint is we're always focused on leads. It's like I got inbound leads. I've got, we know the value of leads if you're spending money on leads, if it costs you, if you're spending it on a portal or website leads. We always typically know like what that cost. But here's something that I'm going to show you we're missing a lot and we're losing a lot of money is what's the value of a contact? And the contact is simply a person that you have a name and email address and a phone number for that's not looking to sell their home at this moment, but they're just a person. What's the value of that? And most people would say, I have no idea. How do you figure that out? So I can do this fun exercise. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did with a large group that brought me in as a moderator to help them figure out the cost of leads. We determined out of that meeting, besides the cost of leads, we figured out what the value of a contact was. So here's the question I'll ask, and I'll need a little bit of help engaging in the chat. So if I define that as a contact, there's no right or wrong answer in this little exercise. So just give me whatever comes to mind. Is if I said a contact is just a person with a name, email address, and a phone number, they're not looking to sell, but you know them. How many of those types of people would you need to meet and get to know over the period of 1 year where one of them either decides to buy or sell a house or have someone they know buy or sell a house, like refer you to a house? How many contacts do you think in a 1 year period you might need to put into your database? Cool, Leon, thank you, 400, good. No right or wrong number. We're going to figure out the value based on any number you give me. So let's just say, we'll take Leon's number, 400. So if I had 400 contacts in my database, which is a real good number, what Leon's saying is it's likely one of them is going to sell a home. I'd probably bet more, but that's okay. Use the number, be conservative. Now, the second number I need to do the math is what's your average gross commission of any average house you sell in your market? Gross commission. So give me that and pick a number, 9,500, sweet. All right, so I'm going to do some simple math, and you can too, because if you can't figure out commissions by now, we're in the wrong business. So I'm going to take the 9,500 divided by 400 contacts. That means each contact, each person, each business card, each sticky note that is somewhere buried on your car, on your desk. The math to me comes out to what with Leon's numbers is just under $24. 24 bucks. Now, and that's a conservative number, right? I would say if you start looking around now, and if you have a contact, name, a phone number, and email address on a piece of paper, in a notebook, on an open house sheet, on a sticky note, on a business card that's on your desk, and it is not in a place where you could nurture them, create a relationship, email marketing, text marketing over the next couple of years, everyone is $25 sitting around, floating around. How many $25 bills do you have running around? And would you leave them lay around? Now, I've been doing this exercise for quite a few years, and I've asked the average across most of the country, and I'll share with you a screenshot of what the other averages of people have told me to show you the same exercise. So I've said to the same people, they've said about 100 contacts they feel on average would turn into one sale. An average gross commission was about $8,000. Doesn't matter. Every market's different. So $80 per contact. The question's going to be is not only is the $80 per contact, it's also the $9,500 commission or the $8,000 commission that it's costing you, because they ended up with somebody else because you forgot who they were. Because if they're on a piece of paper, are you going to remember, and are they going to remember you 2 years later? The answer is probably no. 3 years later. So we have to understand that contacts, people, carry a value with them that you don't see as a real number because they're not a lead and ready to buy right now. And I jokingly say, like, I want you to wake up with like the nightmares of how much money you might be losing because you're not taking care of your data. You're handling it properly. Hopefully it resonates with a few people, because I know, I'll go back in full transparency. I'll see if I can go back a second. Hang on. I know in transparency, that used to be me. For many years, I ran like I could do it all. And it was a hot mess. I learned really quickly in my career that I have to figure out what I do really well and figure out what I don't. And I better figure out the don't part by either hiring somebody really good that can do it, or now in this case, maybe finding someone like a part-time freelancer that can help me, or find an assistant that can help me, or something, because I was losing too much money. So just word to the wise, you want referral business, we're losing a lot just in the contact game, right? All right, now what kind of contact or what kind of content should we be marketing to our people? And I'm going to share with you some of our own clients' stuff, because when we talk about content that matters, it takes a little time and effort to do it. And you don't have to spend every waking hour, because once you create something relevant, what is it that consumers in your market and community would want to look at, to open, to pay attention to? So these are some different times of the year guides I'm going to show you. You may don't have to do them all, maybe trigger a few ideas. And I'm going to go through them a little quickly because you're going to have a copy of all the slides. But let's face it, certain times of the year, depending on where you are, in the fall, we have, and these are actual clients, like screenshots that have done this. They send it to their clients. Apple picking, pumpkin picking. They send it with the actual places, because I'll tell you what it does. It creates an emotional connection. We reached out to clients that get stuff like this, and their first couple words to me were, not only do they like it because it's local community stuff they don't have time to pay attention to, but a lot of it brings back memories. And one couple that I interviewed said, she goes, look at Demarest Farm. She goes, we used to go there as a kid. Like, it's something that brings back a memory for me, and I'm bringing my grandkids there now. So they open it because it's stuff that's simple and relevant and community based. They also add in stuff with like pumpkin picking areas, cocktails made out of hard ciders. Like, this is that time of year come fall, unless if you're in the Northeast or New Jersey-ish, that would be relevant, right? So I'm going to slide through a few. Another group puts together what they call the happenings. These are two different pages, but you could put together your area or town happenings. What are the 2 or 3 things that are happening in your community that something the community would love to know about? Is there a comedy night? Is there a kids art thing going on? Is there a special event happening? Those are things that most people, a lot of people aren't reading the newspaper anymore. So what are the most relevant things happening in that area? So you could have a happenings type piece of marketing that goes out. Once you create it, every month you just update it, you spit it out. Those are more happenings. You have to also look at yourself as a community expert. You thought you signed up for real estate, but in many cases, you might be an event planner, you're a party goer, you're a social networker, like you're a little bit of everything. But the more you get yourself involved in, whether they're charity events or community events, the more people you're going to get to meet and know. And it doesn't have to be specifically to real estate. That's the best part of it. Not the real estate events, the other community events where you get to meet the people that are in those communities that get to know you as a person first. Then what business you're in. When they know you and like you and trust you as a person first, and then find out you're in real estate, the referrals will follow. I know that because that's how I built a lot of my business based on these strategies. So the other is what's interesting in your area. Anything that's cool that's happening for people moving to the area. You have fun parks, you have fun event areas. Is there dog parks? Are they pet friendly? Those could be unique community things you share as part of your ecosystem instead of maybe a cookie cutter type marketing that goes out that's generic. Get to know the area. If you got people that are moving into the area, you can have certain things about what you love about your community. What are those things? Is it restaurants? Is it shopping? Is it school systems? So many times I see a buyer's guide, it's just too generic. It's generically, I wouldn't know anything about your town anymore, that I could go to Google and find more, right? So the other is we have our own real estate clients hosting events. We have them put on events for the children, face painting and photography and a picnic in the park. We have them host it as a reason to invite those clients you've done business with back. And even if they don't come, they're still seeing your invitation. They're still seeing your marketing. They're still seeing you're doing community-based stuff, right? Is everyone going to do all these? No. But look, I want you to walk away with two of them. Some of our clients have put together checklists of things. What's your bucket list? What's your favorite place to go watch football on Saturdays and Sundays? What's your favorite burger place? Those types of ideas. I see somebody, if there's any questions, by the way, drop them in chat. I'll keep chat open. That's why I want to give you all these slides. These are going to be a little fast and furious now because I don't want to dwell on them, but I wanted to give you all these ideas for a referral business. Game nights, movies out. We have a large team, not in New Jersey though, but large team that books the movie theater once a year, buys out the theater whatever time of day, afternoonish, and invites all of their clients to a new movie coming out. They take it over, they spend a couple bucks, but they get to invite them to a movie out by themselves. They bring all sorts of fun stuff to it. So the typical monthly newsletter that goes out, you have to make it customized to you, right? So I want to go down a couple things that people are sharing that find good value in is updated market stats. If you're going to do market stats, you got to make it visually appealing. Something simple. This one I'm sharing with you, I'm going to show you here on the right, is too busy. What I would recommend is 4 boxes. Give me the 4 most important things. Now, if they're different towns, great, but per town. Days on market, average sale price. Like I want to see something clean and visual, not complicated, and I can't read it. So if you're going to give me market data, give me the most important things a consumer would care about and make it simple and clean. So graphically, I would have 4 boxes, not 9, 18. Right? See the difference? I would be much simpler. A lot of people like to send out, and this is good for maybe agents who don't have a lot of business or haven't done a lot of business. But with permission from your broker, every home that's sold in your brokerage with permission, the brokerage owns the listings, the brokerage owns the transactions. So you could say, can I take all the homes we sold as a brokerage and put them on a card? And you're not saying you sold them, right? You're sending it out as this is the homes we sold this year. Perception wise, does that make you look like a rock star? Yeah, right? It's just perception. It's not misleading them. You didn't say I sold all these homes. We sold all these homes. We, the brokerage of whoever you are, because that is a true fact of who owns the listings and who owns the brokerage. So leverage we and send out successful perceptive things that will absolutely get people's attention. Now, these are the ones that I'm going to go through fast because they're simply monthly things that our clients have put together. And I say fast for time purposes because I want to get to a few other things. But every holiday, there's a thing that can go out. So in March, we have St. Patty's Day. They do a dollar lottery ticket. April, one of the best traction things they get are the top places to take your kids to go Easter egg hunting. Like, Google it, find it. I'm telling you, people search for these things. May is Mother's Day. What are some good Mother's Day gift ideas with a link to a cool Mother's Day gifting page? How many people are scrambling the day of Mother's Day to find a gift, right? June, Father's Day, same concept. Dad's tech gifts, find a place, find something for dad. Simple. July, another, along with the Easter. Best places to go watch fireworks. Where are they? The links to them, Google them, put them on one clean Canva page. People love it, right? August, we get into getting ready for football season, so you can start putting in your favorite place to go watch football as the fall season starts to kick in. September is all about back to school, places and things to go find school supplies for the kids. October, we're back to pumpkins and pies. November, there's our pie event for Thanksgiving, if you celebrate those. December, it could be Hanukkah, it could be Santa, it could be anything. Where can I go see Santa, or where can I celebrate the holidays? No matter what holiday you celebrate. Just simple ideas. The other bonus events that people find throughout the year to generate referral business, pets are huge. We have clients that go find a pet store, talk to the pet store owner. Hey, I'm a real estate agent. I would love to hold a pet event for my clients and potential clients. Can I host it here at your store? Big dog lovers, cat lovers, whatever it is, you get to invite people, cost you very little. The store loves it because they're getting a lot more traction. I get to meet a lot of new people, a lot more contacts. Pets are a big one. And the other big one is photos and portraits in the park. We already have photographers that work for us in the real estate business. They take pictures. Find one that will take 3 hours of their time, pay them for 3 hours or her for 3 hours, and do portraits in the park during spring or fall. Invite your people to it, right? And they'll bring the kids and the pets and the animals. All of these ideas, I'm not gonna say if you did 2 of them, I'd love to know eventually what 2 you might do. These are the things that get community-based focused versus just leads from Zillow and leads from Realtor.com, right? Now, once you do have your database, your client's data, there's some fun things you could do. You could go into social media, specifically, let's say Facebook, but you could also do an Instagram. And you could take those emails of those contacts, not clients even, but you could take clients too, and create a custom audience list, meaning you could upload that list of emails to Facebook under a custom audience link. And Facebook will find and try and target just those people with your ads. So if you want to stay top of mind awareness to those people that you've connected to, remember, that's why your data is very valuable. It will try and find them based on their email address, and secondary would be their phone number, but their email address, their personal email address to clarify, their Gmail, their Yahoo, is the ones they use online is how they will get targeted. You can run a custom audience ad so that they are the ones seeing your advertising on Facebook versus a buckshot approach to the masses. That's why having the data is really important. If you ever get stuck with any of these ideas, we obviously have a new assistant in our world, which is AI and some ChatGPT. But if you ever needed help creating any of these guides or things you want for marketing to your consumers, I'd be remiss to not say AI and ChatGPT is obviously the go-to tool to create these things. Like if I wanted something to share that are tips for sellers, give me a home buyer's guide for Princeton, New Jersey. We can ask ChatGPT in the right prompt to deliver this to us so we have the content that's relevant. There's no more like I have to create content. It creates it for you, tells you how to do it. You just have to be able to compile it together, and now you've got a piece of marketing. So it's really simple. I do want to share with you one thing that might help you generate some more business when it comes to some AI that you're using. 95% of the people we talk to in real estate are using obviously ChatGPT and Grok and others to create their obviously property description, right? That's not a secret. It's not a big deal. Problem is they stop there. All these cool property descriptions or all these cool things they create is great, but there's 2 more things you could do with that same content that'll help you get more business or more attention. I call it the 1, 2, 3 punch. Create the actual post or the description, preparing the home for market or whatever you're doing. when you get your top tips or your MLS description or whatever it is, continue to add an additional prompt right after you love before you copy and paste it. Ask it to do two more things. Ask it and say, now write a social media post based on this information and create 3 Instagram posts for this listing or for this idea. It will create Facebook or Instagram posts for you of the same content. Ask it for 10 different posts. Ask it for whatever you want. It'll take that same content and give you more content. And then the third punch would be, now give me a video script for 60 seconds or a 200-word video script that I can use to talk about what I'm going to post. So I always say, like, get the content you love. That's the one punch. The 2 punches, now give me social media posts I can use with this listing. And third, give me a video script for 60 to 90 seconds. So I think we're just missing out on simple things that can help us generate more from the same thing we're doing. All right. Last couple tips I'm going to share is when we're doing some video and some video content. There's just a few tools I'll wrap up with. We use this ourselves, but anytime you have a video for social media or for any marketing, maybe the video is a little too long. Maybe it's a YouTube type clip, but I want stuff to post on Instagram and shorter videos. Opus.pro is a tool we use where we can take a larger video clip. We upload it. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. And we could tell it specifically, I would like 30 to 60 second or 60 to 90 second clips shortened out of this content. And it will find, using AI, many clips out of the bigger clip. And it will put the captions and everything on top of it as well, so the words are appearing on top. And what it'll give you is a short 30, 60, 90 second clip. It might give you 5 of them or 4 of them out of one piece of content that you could download and share into like your smaller Instagram reels and shorts and stories and everything. And it'll give you those options to edit as well. So it's a really cool social tool that gives us a lot of content. I could literally take this webinar, this session I'm doing here, and have it chop up into mini shorts based on the video that we upload to it. So it gives us other content. The last I'll share with you, let me just make sure I've got, the last I'll share with you is, how much time do you spend on marketing for referrals? We market for new business. We market for leads. We all want new. And yet the biggest part of our business we want is referrals, but we don't spend enough time marketing it. So my quote that I use quite often is, you lose money in the gaps of your calendar. It's a time management tool. Is you have the time, because so many people, I don't have time. If you looked at your calendar for the next week, how many gaps are in your calendar right now? Meaning, if you had an appointment that ends at 2 and your next one is not till 3:30, that's a gap. What are you doing in the gap? Now, you might be busy, but I have seen a lot of real estate agents be really busy but go broke because they're not doing the right things. They're not doing the things that make the money. They're not doing the things that generate the referrals they want. So we can carve out the time. You have to plan for it. The time blocking mentality is great only if you're held accountable to it. Because I have some people that say, Jeff, I time block and time blocking works. And that's great if it does. But I know, as most professionals, you could talk yourself and negotiate yourself out of that time block very easily. If the phone rang, you negotiate out of it. Like, I'll do that later then. If 2 social media posts happen and you get sucked in going down a wormhole here, a rabbit hole here, that time block is gone. So if you really want referral business, it's not going to just happen automatically. Although a small amount might, but the real big opportunity is not happening unless you commit your time and energy to it and put in place some of the things we talked about in this session here. I do want to end real quick that if we could ever help on our end, this is just one of our many sessions. We do have a platform. It's our online coaching platform. If you want to check it out, it's called Coach 52. 52 weeks of on-demand coaching, training, and education. We put everything that we talk about and coach on in one platform. It's good for agents, teams, brokerages. It can be co-branded. It's a platform that's used for mortgage and title as well. But if it's something you want to take a look at, obviously we share a lot of live content here. Feel free to take a peek at that. Here's my last slide. I told you, I promised you I'd end with it, is the most valuable asset you have is people's data besides relationships and how many people you know. So I think we have the two-part right. It's the relationships and how many, but having their data and their information and their contacts all have a value to it. And we've got to look at that value as either, if we're not capitalizing on it, we're losing lots of money on it. So on that note, I want to flip it back and just kind of open to any questions. This is my digital business card. Chat's been kind of quiet, so I just didn't know if anybody had any questions. But in the meantime, I want to thank Emily and her team for hosting me on this, and Alyssa for putting this together, our friends at WFG for sponsoring this as well. And if anyone has questions in the preview watching this down the road or whatever, just reach out. Be happy to help. And always enjoy the invite to come on. So Emily, thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for all of that. I feel like I tried to jot some things down, but I'll definitely have to rewatch it. But I have a question, actually, two. The first was for the Facebook lists, and I think the part that you went over that said you could do things in the ads manager, that has to be on a business page. Is that right? Like you can't do that on like you just like Emily Robinson, the realtor or the title agent. You have to do it under like if someone has their own real estate page separate, I think.
Yeah, so good question. Thank you. So your lists are done only on your personal page. It's only a place they exist.
Okay.
So lists have to be on your personal page. And I do get a lot of agents who will fight and battle saying, I don't like using my personal page for business but you're in the personal people business. So you got to get over yourself on that. I know you don't have to do anything. No one says you have to use Facebook or Instagram. But if you really want to know people, it's the finest tool to connect with people. So the lists happen to be only on the personal pages.
Okay. The ads manager part is then on a business page only.
That's correct. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the ads manager, which was right.
Because they seem related, right? Like you can make the list and then you also have like a customer list, right? Or so.
Right. But what you would do is you would export the list. Let me find where my Facebook list is here. Hang on. I
think it was earlier.
Yeah, it was earlier. Right. Let me see. Zipped right past it. I did lists and we have page. How did it? All right. Well, I'll find it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm screwed. But your Facebook business page is the only page that'll let you run ads. Right? So if you're going to run ads, it has to be from your page, which is why you have to keep.
I think it's right there, 51, right? Is that it?
Yeah, there we go. My bad. Yeah, good catch. So yeah, on your business page, which is why I say keep your Jeff Lobb real estate business page because it's found on Google. It's your reputation. If someone searched, let's say someone searched me, it's my real estate, and it might find me on Zillow, might find my company brand page, but it'll find my Facebook business page. And if I clicked on it and it looks like there's no photos, there's no nothing, and I won't look like I'm in the business. So it's got to be relevant. But in addition, if I wanted to run an ad, it could only be done on the business page. And this customer list, though, would be coming like the list you upload to them comes out of like your CRM. It's like a CSV file or an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay.
If I click customer list or custom audience, it's going to say import your list here. And you click on it, attach your list of email addresses. It takes all the email addresses from your Excel spreadsheet, which you would get from your CRM or from wherever you store them.
Okay. I didn't realize it could do that. So that's good.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. If you want to target your real estate agent list. Yeah. The other thing you could do, and just remember when you're doing your friends list on your personal page, if you have one, you could also make that post to your friends specifically. Let me see if I could.
I think I've seen that option too on Facebook where you post and it says there are options to share, not share it, but
That's right.
uh,
I can find it.
target, I think.
Yep. Let me see if I could pull it together quick enough. If not, I'll just yeah, it's a little drop down menu when you're making
Yeah, I think
posts.
I've seen that. I do have one other question,
Sure.
if nobody else has a question yet.
Well, actually, one second, I just found it.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Hang on to that question. I did find it real quick, so I'll just stay on task here. So here's my browser real quick. So here's my Facebook page. If I was going to make a post, see right here, it says public.
Hmm.
I could make the post to the public. Let's say, hey, the market's shifting, whatever it is, boom. Then I'd come back and make the post and I'd click on it and I would scroll down and I would want to post it to whatever I named my list. I have fake lists in here for demo, like cool kids and best clients. And like I had to make up some names, right? So pick your list.
Okay.
And that post now will basically, it's not like a group. It's gonna try and put it in their feeds
Mhm.
for that list. Now, always make sure you change it back to public because then everything else will just keep going to them. But it's a cool way to also target a little bit better too.
Yeah, and it's also, I think it's also a good way too, like if you are using a personal page and you feel like, well, I don't want to, bombard my cousin with all of my real estate posts, you can kind of segregate those posts to the people you do want to target, or if people don't use their personal page for that reason,
That's
then
right.
yeah. Um,
Other question.
Yeah, my other question, real quick, and I know we spent a little bit of time on it, but if you could go over the math one more time, I know you said like contacts you might have, and I want to understand like that was the contacts that it would take you in a year to have one listing, or because they're not leads, right? We're talking about contacts.
Correct.
Okay, and then because obviously I need to break that down into a title translation, but if you could break it down one more time, so I
100%.
kind of understand. Yeah.
So we look at it this way is what is how many contacts? So we just redefine a contact as just a person, right? A person name, email address, and a phone number. That's a contact, right? A lead is someone that's that information plus like, yeah, we're going to buy a home. So contact. How many contacts? The question is, how many contacts do you think you would need, your own personality, your own skill set, to put in your database over the period of 1 year, where one of them or someone they know would turn into a transaction? So you say, if I had 200 people I met and I put them in my database and I'm properly nurturing them with my emails, my marketing, my text, the stuff we're doing, not sitting on a piece of paper, because if they're here, they're not turning into anything yet. I mean, theoretically, if they remember me from Dunkin' Donuts from a year ago, God bless. But if they were nurtured, so how many of these types of people do I think I need for one of them or someone they know to turn into a transaction for me? That's the way I ask that question.
Now, I realize like, so if we're talking about that and you divide it by the average commission, right, was what you said for per listing or sale that a realtor might have.
Right.
I'm assuming now to translate that into a title equation, it's going to be more contacts because it's a lower
So then
dollar
let's flip
amount.
it. So let's
Right?
figure what is the average gross of a title transaction?
I don't know. I guess average, you'd have to say maybe it's like 1,500 or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would have to say from a new perspective, how many new real estate agents would you have to meet for one of those real estate agents over the period of 1 year to give you one transaction?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So if you met, numbers are probably not nearly as high. If you met,
Yeah, I think the contacts number would have to be higher. That's what I think.
I don't know, how many real estate agents would you have to meet to put into your database?
I don't know. Feels like 1,000.
Oh, I don't think so. I think if
Oh, you
you,
think it'd be less? I don't know. I was trying to
well,
like
I think it would
equate
probably
that.
be less.
I would say maybe like 40 or 50.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 50 to 75. Like
Yeah.
you
For
met
a
the real
year?
estate agents over the period of 1 year. Yeah.
A period of 1 year. Okay, maybe I'm thinking about that backwards. Yeah, but when you said that earlier, I was like, okay, I understand that. Now I have to
Let's see.
translate that
If
into
we did, if
title.
we did a big event, let's say we did a big event, you had 100 real estate agents in the room. You get to meet 100. Say you got all their information, then you started marketing to them, talking to them, nurturing them. How many, like, say there's 100. That's just one little group out of not a year. That's just in a day.
Right. That's true.
Would
Yeah.
one of them give you a transaction in a year?
Right.
Probably, sure.
Right.
Um, But so, and if your average is 1,500, let's just say it was 50, 150, 1,500 divided by 50.
Okay, so I guess it's less contacts.
$30. I think it's less. Yeah. I mean,
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking like, it sounds like either side of the industry, the cost for most of this being missed would be like $25 or $30 a contact.
at least.
Because
At
it'd
least.
be sort of the equivalent in both sides, I think.
And then the loss is it's not only that this sitting around is a $30 bill or $80 bill, it's then this was also a $1,500 escrow or
Right,
or
exactly.
$8,000 gross commission.
Yeah, I find that interesting. I like the math. I'm gonna play with that, but it's and that's why we all need to like, it's not just the contact and the lead, like having data from your past clients or trends in the past 2 years, what's worked, what hasn't, how many people have you met versus not, knowing also almost like attaching a value to that
It's a people game. It
makes
really
it
is.
like you feel it a little more. It's a different perspective. So that was really great. But
It does apply to a lot of sales related businesses.
right, almost any sale, right?
It's just we don't treat it the same way because if I said I got 5 Zillow leads to work, we're working leads. But if it's just I met somebody today I met the bartender today and he gave me a card. It's like it sits on my desk because like it doesn't
Right.
no value to me. I'm chasing
Yeah.
leads. But yet, how many a bartender's card could turn into how many referrals for me? If he gets to know me, he gets to like me, I start marketing. Besides him, he may not even buy a house or her, but he might refer me to 5 people, right? But I don't see the value in that because they're not ready to buy a house.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the mentality that's wrong.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, thank you. We're like right at 11 o'clock, so I won't
Awesome.
take up too much time, but I appreciate you all attending. I thought that was great information. We'll have the recording and share it with everybody. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. So thank you all for coming.
Fantastic. See you guys soon.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a good day.